Ever feel like some folks just sail right to the top while you're kind of stuck? Like, even if you got the skills, something's missing.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to dive deep into something that might just flip the script for you. And it all comes down to self-promotion.
Interesting.
Seriously, it's like the secret sauce to financial success that no one talks about. We're using T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind as our guide here.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar.
Specifically, we're cracking open Wealth File, #8, all about how millionaires think about promoting themselves and their value.
Which is honestly something most people find super uncomfortable.
Right. It feels icky, like braggy or something.
Exactly. But that's precisely what we're going to unpack today, that whole psychology of WHY. We shy away from showing off our strength.
And then more importantly, how to turn that around and actually make self-promotion work for you.
Because, let's be real, you can't really succeed financially if you're hiding your talents under a bushel.
Right. 100%. And Eker kicks off the chapter with the story from his seminars. He offers folks special deals on his other programs.
Right.
And some people, get this, are actually resentful, like annoyed that he's promoting something.
Wow.
I gotta admit, I've been there too, that whole, ugh, here comes a sales pitch feeling.
But even that tiny bit of resentment, that's already a huge roadblock.
Is it really?
Think about it. If you're already squeamish about letting people know about your product or even just your skills, how are you going to make serious money?
True. I guess I hadn't looked at it that way, or even move up in your job, for that matter.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
hating on self-promotion, bad news.
Hmm.
But Eker doesn't stop there. He lays out like 4 reasons WHY people struggle with it.
Oh, this is good.
It's eye-opening because once you get these reasons, you realize it's not like you're born bad at self-promotion.
Yeah.
It's stuff you learn, meaning you can unlearn it too.
Okay, I'm all ears. Hit me with reason number 1.
Past bad experiences. Like maybe you got hounded by a pushy salesperson once or felt ripped off by some shady marketing.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Makes you wary of anything that feels like selling, even if it's your own talents. Makes sense.
It totally does, but I guess we got to be careful not to let one bad apple spoil the whole bunch, right?
Right. It's like you wouldn't swear off pizza forever just because you had one burnt slice, would you?
No way.
Same with self-promotion. Done right, it's about real value, not tricking people.
Okay, that makes sense. What's reason number 2?
This one, probably universal fear of rejection.
Oh, man, don't get me started.
Past rejections, whether it's business, dating, anything, it can make you scared to put yourself out there again.
And it's tied into that whole need to fit in, right? Like rejection hits you right where it hurts your self-worth.
Exactly. So we avoid anything that risks more of that pain, even if it means holding ourselves back. Not good.
Okay, what about number 3?
This one hit home for me, parental programming. How many of us were raised to believe that bragging is rude?
Oh, big time. My mom always said, let your actions speak for themselves.
Yeah, and while those are good qualities in some situations in the business world, they can actually work against you.
Really? How so?
The reality is, no one's going to champion you if you don't. Humility doesn't exactly pay the bills.
Oof. Truth bomb. Okay, last one, number 4.
Eker calls this the high and mighty syndrome. Basically, thinking your work is so good, people should just magically recognize it.
Without you having to, like, lower yourself to promote it.
Exactly. But there's this unspoken fear behind that, like you're worried about looking arrogant or self-centered.
As if saying your work is good somehow makes it less good. It's weird when you think about it.
And Eker makes this killer comparison. He's like, imagine having the cure for a disease and not telling anyone because you think it's beneath you.
At that point, it's not high and mighty. It's straight up hurting people.
Right. So that brings us to the real juicy part, how millionaires think about this whole promoting your value thing.
Oh, yeah, that's where we got to pick up next time.
Because their mindset is totally different. But we'll save that for part 2 of our deep dive. Welcome back.
All right, so last time, we kind of dug into why self-promotion feels so icky to most people.
All those hang-ups we have, yeah.
But now, let's flip it. How do the millionaires in Eker's book actually approach this whole thing? Because their mindset is like the opposite.
Absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting because Eker says rich people, they're totally comfortable with self-promotion.
And it's not because they're arrogant.
No, not at all. It's because they truly believe in what they offer, like genuinely believe in its value.
And the benefit it brings to other people, it's not bragging, it's sharing something they're convinced will actually help.
They see themselves as problem solvers.
Right, providing solutions that actually improve lives, and it's that conviction that fuels their self-promotion.
It's like they can't not share it. Ecker uses this powerful analogy. Imagine you have the cure for arthritis.
Oh, wow.
Would
Yeah.
you hide that from people who are suffering?
Of course not. You'd want to shout it from the rooftops, tell everyone who could benefit.
Exactly. And for millionaires, that's how they see promoting their value.
It's about service, making a real impact, not just making a buck.
Right. Recognizing that you do have something valuable, and it's almost your responsibility to share it.
Like a moral obligation, even. And this kind of ties in with what Robert Kiyosaki, the rich dad, poor dad guy, says.
Oh, absolutely. Kiyosaki is very blunt. He says, selling is crucial for every business, even like writing books.
He always jokes about being a best-selling author, not a best writing one. But it's a good point.
There's truth in that, yeah.
It all comes down to packaging, doesn't it? Like, just like a well-designed product, you got to present your value in a way that's compelling.
It's like you could have the best cake in the world, but if it's just like plopped on a plate.
Nobody's going to want it.
Exactly. So presentation matters, whether it's a snappy elevator pitch, cool marketing, even just explaining your ideas clearly in a meeting.
It all counts. And this kind of circles back to leadership too, doesn't it? Aker says rich people are often leaders, and good leaders are great promoters.
That's true. Think about it. Leaders are constantly selling their vision, their ideas, whether to their team, investors, the public.
Like rallying support, building momentum.
Right. A perfect example is the U.S. president. They're always promoting their policies, not just to get things done, but to keep their leadership position strong.
So it's not even about just persuasion, it's about inspiring people, about...
Leadership, yeah,
Wow.
bringing people on board with your vision. So what we've seen so far, millionaires view self-promotion as service, as impact, as leadership.
They get the packaging part, making their stuff appealing, and they see promotion as part of being a good leader.
Right. But the big question for our listeners is, how do you actually do this? How do you shift your mindset and actually start promoting yourself?
Ugh, the million-dollar question, which I guess we'll answer in part 3 of our deep dive. All right, so we've talked about why self-promotion makes us squirm, and then we saw how millionaires view it totally differently.
Right, like night and day.
But now, how do we actually make this work for us? Because knowing about it and actually doing it are two different things.
Absolutely. It's like reading about exercise versus actually hitting the gym.
Totally. So let's get practical. Eker gives some solid advice in his book. First, take a good look at what you're offering, your product, service, your skills, whatever.
Okay.
And rate it, honestly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe in its value?
That's a good exercise.
And be brutal. If it's anything less than a 7,
Uh-oh.
time for some soul searching. Maybe you need to revamp it, add more value, or, and this is tough,
Yeah.
maybe you need to find something you actually believe in.
That makes sense. Like, you can't fake passion, can you?
Nope. People see right through that. Remember that cure for arthritis analogy?
Oh, yeah, if you don't really believe in what you're offering.
It's going to be super hard to promote it authentically. And that lack of conviction, people pick up on that.
Definitely. So step 1, genuine belief.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Eker says, step 2, get good at it. Learn about marketing and sales.
Yes. There are so many resources out there. Books, courses, other deep dives, like this one even.
You can learn to promote yourself effectively, ethically, like make your stuff stand out without being sleazy.
It's about going beyond just understanding it to actually mastering the skills.
And it takes practice, you know?
Yeah.
Don't expect to be a marketing guru overnight.
Totally. Start small, try things out, see what works.
The more you do it, the easier it gets. Like anything else, practice makes perfect.
It's like the fear factor decreases with every try. But there's more to it than just the skill.
Oh, yeah, there's the internal stuff, too.
Your mindset. So as you're learning these new skills, pay attention to how you feel about self-promotion.
Okay.
If that resistance pops up, don't ignore it. Figure out why.
Like, what's the root of it?
Are you stuck on those bad experiences? Is it fear of rejection rearing its ugly head?
Or those old parental messages, don't brag, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And once you pinpoint the cause, you can start to tackle it, reframe those beliefs.
Because they're learned, not set in stone. You can change them.
So to wrap this all up, changing how you see self-promotion is huge E, both for financial success and for making a difference.
It's about sharing your unique gifts with the world and stepping into that leadership role.
Inspiring others, creating positive change. But we want to leave you with one final thought. If you really believe in what you offer,
What can you do, starting today, to promote yourself with confidence and authenticity? Because honestly, the world needs what you've got.